To be or not to be? That is the question. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft here on our main server. Now, it's been a minute since I've been over here. I was playing around a lot with the replay mod functionality, getting that set up, learning how to work it, and a bunch of other stuff. And I did get something quite nice put together with that, which I did throw up on TikTok just to see how that goes. I'm not expecting anything super drastic to come out of it, but hey, if it pulls some more people in, no complaints there. But I wanted to give a couple of brief updates as to where we're at with a couple of things. And first, I want to showcase one of... Oh gosh, that was rude. First, I wanted to showcase something that we've been hard at work at. So let me go ahead and retreat back to the house to get more rockets and then come and show you. All right, and the thing that I've been working on a little bit is actually over here at the Guardian farm. And let me kind of give you a walk around of what's been going on. Now, you can probably tell that some things have been cleaned up, and that is because it has. You'll see that there's a very clear-cut line right here into this glacier, as well as the side of this one over here and the one over here, though this was definitely the largest of the projects, and there was another smaller iceberg over in this general direction. Mainly, the main reason that we went ahead and did that is because we are seeking to put together a little bit of a guardian farm here, and that should be an adventure, to be sure. Now let's dive in and have a little bit of a better look. Now, if you remember from the episode where we put this together, we do have a conduit set up basically right here in the center. It's not perfectly centered, but there's also not a way to perfectly center it. But it allows us to traverse this area a little bit easier. Also, I learned that apparently Guardians don't like squid, and they will attack them on sight, which is kind of sort of turning this into an impromptu ink farm. And if I would have known that a while back, well, putting together the pit underneath the castle build that we're doing would have been a lot easier, because there's quite a fair amount of ink that comes out of this. But that being said, let's kind of walk you through my thought process on what we're going to do here. So I've brought the glaciers down to the point where about 5 blocks out, or that we're going to leave a 5-block space between the wall of the temple and the outside of the little enclosure we're going to put up. And this is where we're actually going to put up a bit of a containment wall around the outside. And we'll probably make some use of the replay mod to do that, just so you can see my thought process and how that comes together. Probably going to look to layer that or offer some sort of texturing to it as it comes together. But that's the main idea, and I'm just curious to see. Nope, it just stops right there as soon as it comes down to the bottom. So we might want to take that into consideration as we put this thing together. But that very well may serve as kind of putting together a guardian farm for harvesting their goods and things that we can then put together with it. Especially that now that the elder guardians are no longer here, these guys are just going to be a wonderful source of prismarine shards and all of the other good stuff that comes from. You also get a bunch of cod out of it, so not a bad food source either. And that's really the biggest thing that I've been working on, though I have put together a few other things and worked out a few other ideas of some other stuff that I want to work on or actually put together. So let's head back over to the house so we can talk through those items. So the other things that we are going to be working on is, of course, we're going to start putting together or finish putting together the castle build here. and I'm quite happy with the framework we've got put together so far. I'm not limiting myself on this one as much as I was with the Nether House build, so that ought to be quite a bit of fun as we go about finishing up this project. And I do have a couple of ideas as to what I'm going to do here. It's going to involve a mixture of a couple of different texture bricks and other things to make sure that the textures blend and come together quite nicely with that. So will be interesting to see just how well that comes together. We are going to be taking out this flower farm as well. I just need to get around to it and kind of fill it in. As you remember from the walk around for that, there was a pretty big pit that we dug under here for the timing mechanism on it. So we need to make sure that we get rid of that. But before we can actually put together the build itself, we've got to make sure we have enough vines for the mossy effect that we're looking for. And I think a bare minimum, we're going to want 2 full lines, probably just going ahead and filling up a full chest here. And this is done rather well in terms of letting us harvest these vines pretty quick. So I'm really happy with this farm. There may be a couple of tweaks that I would make to it, primarily the toggle back and forth of the water system. I feel like it works rather well until you get to about the last 2 or 3 blocks, and you just can't really make it go a whole lot faster. And ideally, you're just going to be trimming it down here along the bottom if you're truly running it AFK. And then have a cycle system for getting yourself some more shears. But there's definitely some room for improvement here when it comes to making this farm a little bit more efficient, which maybe I'll get around to. But we've got a fair collection of these going on. Of course, the biggest project that we've had sitting over here for a while is our storage barrel. And the overall idea of what we're doing here is we're going to make this our storage area. So I've got to calculate out some space, work together or put together the redstone for the actual storage components of this. That's going to be an adventure and a half, and then actually start using it. So we'll probably do some time-lapse and or walk around with the replay mod there. The last 2 projects that I want to comment on is one we've mentioned a couple of different times, that there's a pixel art that I'm going to put together on this wall for the creeper farm, which should look pretty nice. Also, I didn't realize this, but Optifine really enhances the fog effect that we were going for here with this glass. It makes it work a lot nicer than just the vanilla version. I noticed that a little bit walking around the server earlier today, so this definitely makes me feel a little bit better about it, though I do wish that I'd gone for the gray and black alternating colors rather than the light gray, but things to keep in mind for future projects of that nature. And the last thing that I'm going to put together, and this one I haven't really thought of a whole lot, is going to involve a lot of armor stands. Not to the point where, you know, we are using armor stands exclusively for different things, but of course we are going to need to smelt up some of our stone into smooth stone for this project. And then let me get ahead, go ahead and grab some of my sticks here. There we are. And this is why I need to clean up my storage more so than it already, well, it's not clean at all. It's scattered all over the place and definitely just needs a lot more structure. There we are. So for our armor stand, we're going to want to whiz over here. Take this, cut it into slabs. Kind of wish that you could get smooth stone stairs and fences, but maybe in a far distant future day we'll have those type applications for it. But for this project, we're going to need a bunch of these armor stands, because what I'm going to put together is kind of a display room area for our different mob heads. And that's going to make things quite interesting as a kind of a showcase of what we can do with that. Maybe put together some leather armor that corresponds roughly with these as well. So that's going to be fun to continue to work on and put together. But for now, I'm just kind of keeping these heads in a chest. And I've got an idea of a pretty fun game to get people involved with when it comes to mob heads as well. But that is going to be a project for a very distant day, and I'll give you some more details on that if I do end up getting that to work, because I think it could be quite a bit of fun. All right, so just like that, we've got ourselves a little bit of a checklist that we're going to hang up on the wall of our room to keep us on task of the things that we're going to do. And this is in no particular order, just more a place of reference for the things that I will need to focus on and complete. So of course we've got our redstone storage system, our guardian farm, our castle build, our mob head museum, moving and or removing the flower farm. I think I'd mentioned maybe moving that over to a flower forest biome. And then the creeper farm pixel art as the main things that we're going to want to focus on and put together. Of course, there are other things that we're going to want to do within the Nether in terms of setting up a piglin bartering station, possibly a piglin gold farm, though I would really rather put together that gold farm on the roof of the Nether ceiling, and I've got to get up and do that first, as well as finding and locating a bastion and doing some raids there. Probably even taking on an extra wither or two to make sure that we can get some extra beacons to help us with these different tasks. But that's really going to do it. So we're going to, like I said, take this upstairs to the bedroom. And there's not really a good place to stick that in the terms of the aesthetics of the room. So we'll go ahead and leave it right like that on the wall. So that will do it for today as the sun sets over here. Just a beautiful Minecraft sunset over there that you really have to appreciate for what it is. So as the sun rises over my back here, I do just want to remind you that it's now your job to kind of keep me on task with these things. So if I start to stray away from it, be sure to remind me in the comments of my future videos as to, well, hey, Pseudo, you're getting off track. But I anticipate that we should be able to do those things pretty well now that we've got a heading on it. So thanks again for watching, and if you enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe for more daily content, and without further ado, I will let you get back to your day and hope that you have a fantastic rest of your, well, day, whether it be evening, afternoon, morning, or wherever. So thanks, and take care. Bye-bye.